Defense. Please proceed with your closing argument. The wise once said, "It is better to release 10 guilty men than to punish one innocent person." Do you know why? This isn't a story about a simple wrongful accusation. It's about a lawyer who wants nothing more than fame and a successful career, but his dream turns into a nightmare when he takes on a client who turns out to be a terrifying psychopath. The movie, called The Client, starts with Han Chul-Min driving home to his apartment. As he pulls up, something feels wrong. There's a crowd outside, and his gut tells him something bad has happened. When he finally gets inside, he sees a horrifying scene. The police are everywhere, investigating a crime. A brutal tragedy just took place. Blood is everywhere, soaking the bed, but the victim's body is gone. The police suspect Chul-Min's wife is the victim, so they immediately arrest him as the main suspect. Neighbors reported a huge fight between him and his wife just before the incident, making him the prime suspect. It doesn't help that his wife had been asking for a divorce. The suspicion is mounting. Feeling trapped, Chul-Min tries to take his own life in prison, but luckily, he's stopped just in time. This case catches the attention of a skilled lawyer named Kang Sung-Hee. He believes Chul-Min is innocent and is determined to prove it. Sung-Hee dives into the investigation, analyzing the crime scene, interviewing witnesses, and checking CCTV footage. But his ambition isn't just to free his client. He wants to beat his old rival, prosecutor Min Ho. A fierce legal battle begins, with the truth hanging in the balance. Kang Sung-Hee visits Chul-Min at the hospital where he's recovering. He checks Chul-Min's fingerprints, but they've been destroyed from years of working with chemicals. Sung-Hee then asks about Chul-Min's relationship with his wife. Chul-Min admits, without hesitation, that his wife was cheating on him, but Sung-Hee notices that Chul-Min has a hard time expressing his emotions. He's a quiet, reserved guy, making it tough to read him. Despite all this, there's a keyhole in the case that could help them. The victim's body is missing, and Chul-Min's fingerprints aren't at the crime scene. No physical evidence directly links him to the crime, but Sung-Hee is nervous about the CCTV footage the police have. He doesn't know what it shows, and that makes him uneasy. Meanwhile, the prosecution is convinced that Chul-Min is the killer. Besides being the victim's closest relative, he was involved in a murder case years ago, though he was cleared due to lack of evidence. This time, prosecutor Min Ho is determined to dig deeper. He secretly checks the CCTV footage Sung-Hee has been trying to find. To his frustration, the footage doesn't show Chul-Min. Instead, it shows a man acting suspiciously. This frustrates Min Ho even more because his goal is to pin the crime on Chul-Min without thinking twice. He deletes the footage, destroying the evidence that could have cleared Chul-Min. Sung-Hee keeps searching for clues, unaware that his rival has destroyed important evidence. The first trial begins. The courtroom is packed with judges, jurors, and lawyers from both sides, all battling it out. Prosecutor Min Ho kicks off the trial by bringing up an old murder case where Chul-Min was a suspect. Even though Chul-Min was cleared then due to lack of evidence, Min Ho believes the same pattern is happening, and he's convinced Chul-Min killed his wife. On the other hand, Kang Sung-Hee confidently defends his client, denying all of Min Ho's accusations. After the trial, Sung-Hee gets a mysterious envelope. Inside, he finds photos of the victim from the bar-a-lot case, along with information that seems to point to Chul-Min as the killer. Sung-Hee suspects Min Ho is playing mind games with him. Torn, he questions Chul-Min about his past. Chul-Min, with a blank expression, insists he's been wrongly accused. The second trial continues, and Chul-Min's mother takes the stand. She tearfully testifies that her son was once afraid for his life, claiming his husband threatened to kill him. Sung-Hee sharply questions why the mother didn't do anything if her son was in danger. The mother explains she told her son to leave, but over the past 2 months, her daughter-in-law's mental state had gotten worse. Sung-Hee presses further, but Min Ho steps in to calm things down. The second trial ends without any clear answers. Sung-Hee knows he has to work even harder to find the truth. Meanwhile, Min Ho is relentlessly trying to break Chul-Min. Now, let's jump to Sung-Hee's assistant, who finally gets a copy of the CCTV footage they've been searching for. With the help of a police officer, the assistant manages to get the video. But when they open it, it's just footage of a bunch of pandas. Not the evidence they were hoping for. Before they know it, a group of police officers arrives and arrests the assistant. It turns out this was a trap set up to frame them. This chaos leads to a heated confrontation between Kang Sung-Hee and prosecutor Min-ho in the judge's office. Min-ho accuses Sung-Hee of trying to steal evidence and bribe the police. Sung-Hee, losing his patience, accuses Min-ho of deleting the CCTV footage because it didn't show Chul-Min committing the crime. The judge intervenes and declares that the CCTV footage is no longer usable due to contamination. This decision frustrates both sides. Time keeps ticking. The third trial begins, and prosecutor Min-ho presents a new witness, a man who claims to know the victim. This man is an ex-detective who had previously investigated Chul-Min but failed to catch him. He reveals that he had contacted Chul-Min's wife and warned her that her husband was a suspect in the murder case. Fearing for her life, the victim agreed to help and keep an eye on Chul-Min's movements. However, the ex-detective lost track of Chul-Min when he went out of town for work. He later went to Chul-Min's apartment and found the crime scene. He called the police, but when the CCTV footage is reviewed, the man's suspicious movements are deleted by Min-ho, and the crucial evidence is gone. The trial continues, and Sung-Hee feels trapped, while Min-ho pushes harder to build his case. During the trial, Min-ho reveals that the ex-detective arrived at the apartment and saw the horrifying scene on the bed. The detective claims the murder had already happened when he got there, and that he was the one who called the police. Hearing this, Kang Sung-Hee starts to suspect the detective might be hiding something. He asks the ex-detective who the prosecutor was on the case, and the man replies, "It's Prosecutor Min-ho." That answer makes everyone in the courtroom look at Min-ho with suspicion. The story takes a turn when Kang Sung-Hee finds a key witness. An old man walks into the courtroom and starts talking. He explains that on the night of the murder, his son got into a small car accident. When the old man approached the car, it sped away, but he remembered the car's license plate. After checking, they find the car was registered to Chul-Min. This proves that Chul-Min wasn't at the crime scene when the murder happened. But Min-ho isn't giving up. He questions the old man, asking why he didn't report the accident at the time, and how he could remember the details so clearly after 2 months. The old man gets nervous and tries to run out of the courtroom, but security stops him. The trial is getting intense. The old man's testimony gives Sung-Hee a new clue, but Min-ho's questioning creates doubt. Sung-Hee knows he's not done yet. He needs more solid evidence to find the truth. Meanwhile, Min-ho is convinced Chul-Min is the killer, even with the new evidence coming out. Feeling the pressure, Sung-Hee changes his strategy. He digs deeper into Chul-Min's relationship with his wife and tries to get him to open up. He asks Chul-Min some pointed questions. How will you take responsibility for your wife's death? Chul-Min, with tears in his eyes, finally opens up. He tells the court how he tried to come home early from a business trip to celebrate their anniversary and try to fix their relationship. He ended up speeding and crashing his car. When he got to the apartment, he was shocked to find it was a crime scene, and his wife was gone. Chul-Min breaks down, admitting that he feels guilty for not taking better care of his wife. The final trial begins. After a short break, the judge asks for closing statements from both sides. Prosecutor Min-ho argues that Chul-Min should be given a harsh sentence, pointing to his past as a suspect in similar cases. But Kang Sung-Hee defends Chul-Min strongly, saying that the justice system would be unfair if someone was convicted based on suspicion without any concrete evidence. Suddenly, Sung-Hee does something unexpected. He says, "Jang Ho will enter after I count to 3. When he counts to 3, everyone looks at the door, but no one appears. Sung-Hee explains that this experiment shows that no one is sure if Chul-Min's wife is really dead. After hearing from both sides, the judge finally rules that Chul-Min is not guilty because there's no proof of the victim's body or the murder weapon. Kang Sung-Hee wins against the skilled prosecutor Min-ho, but after the trial, Min-ho whispers to him, only Chul-Min didn't look at the door when the count finished. After the trial, Kang Sung-Hee receives a photo from his informant. It shows Chul-Min and his wife at the exact spot where the old man's son had the car accident. It turns out, the old man lied. Sung-Hee's informant gets the real story from the old man's son. He admits that Chul-Min didn't hit him, He actually crashed into Chul-Min's empty car. The son even saw Chul-Min leaving the river area near the crime scene. The police search the river, and sure enough, they find Chul-Min's wife's body. Back at Chul-Min's apartment, he's free, lying on the blood-stained bed, smoking. Kang Sung-Hee, feeling tricked after all his hard work defending him, finally confronts Chul-Min. He says firmly, "You're a monster." Chul-Min, with his usual blank expression, acts like he doesn't understand. But Sung-Hee keeps questioning him. Chul-Min gets up and walks to the balcony, sitting on the edge of the high apartment building. Sung-Hee panics and yells at him, but Chul-Min just gives a faint smile. A flashback shows Chul-Min getting rid of his wife's body by throwing it off the balcony. Back in the present, Chul-Min threatens to jump, but Sung-Hee manages to stop him just in time. Soon, the police arrive and arrest Chul-Min. In the final scene, Prosecutor Min-ho and Kang Sung-Hee have made peace. But even though the legal battle is over, there's still tension and rivalry between them. That's it for now. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching Drama Replay.